You are welcome to Issues at Hand this morning. A very wonderful day and a wonderful Tuesday morning. Thank you for joining us on Issues at Hand, a program where we tackle the current issues that are prevailing in our society and in our country. We want to find solutions so that these issues are a thing of the past. So you are always welcome to join us as we tackle these issues together, by the way, because we are family and we tackle these issues together as a family, and we always have a guest who comes to ensure that we understand the issues and then we find solutions to these issues. And today we are talking about the new guidelines and sanctions, by the way, that have been put forth by NEMA and KCCA when it comes to environmental protection. Yes, environmental degradation is real, climate change is real, and so the powers that be have said enough is enough. We have to take this matter seriously, and this is a discussion that we are going to get into today. But first and foremost, of course, Issues at Hand is proudly brought to you by Protea Hotel Entebbe, talking about environment. Protea Hotel Entebbe has a wonderful environment to enjoy in terms of relaxation, in terms of meditation. You can go by the lakeside and just make your requests known to God. But also for family, there's amazing food, there are amazing rooms on a display as well, and then there is a very lush scene for you to enjoy as a family. So make the reservation and booking today. Now, concerning our discussion today, the guest who is going to help me tackle this issue is Mr. Agaba Villey Albert Amooti, who is a city physical planner with Kampala Capital City Authority, especially in charge of Kawempe. You are very welcome to Issues at Hand.
Thank you very much. I'm so privileged to be here. I'm so happy to be part of the family, and I send my regards to the listeners and those people who are viewing us, and all Ugandans and peace-loving Ugandans.
Indeed, and talking about family, of course, I introduced myself as Bruno Temuhiri, but I'm also Arali, so it's good to know that I have an Amooti around. Anyway, let's get into the discussion proper now. Kampala Capital City Authority and the National Environment Management Authority have put forward new guidelines and sanctions, by the way, when it comes to environmental protection. And there's a lot of hula-baloo about some of the guidelines that have been put forth, and especially the sanctions. But can you take us through them so that we can understand what these guidelines are?
Thank you very much. Kampala Capital City Authority, where I work as a city physical planner, is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that there is sustainable environmental management in the city, but also there is harmony between the people who are interested in making business and the people who are residents or who occupy or stay in the city. Time memorial, we have been having laws. We have been having the National Environmental Management Law, that is the NEMA Act. We have been having the KCCA Act, Physical Planning Act, and all other acts. But these laws have been implemented in piecemeal. You find this one is being implemented, this is not being implemented. And where you implement some sections, others are not being implemented. So, in the due course, we have gotten to realize that if we don't come out to implement now some sections of the law, especially the NEMA Act, we are facing a very big problem in the future. Because now people have gotten used. For example, you will find people are seeing it as a new law, but this is a law that has been in place. And the law requires or states that ignorance of the law is no defense. So every Ugandan, every citizen must know these laws, and if you are caught on the wrong side of the law, you don't start making complaints that I have been pinpointed, witch hunted, they are witch hunting me, and things of that nature. Now, of recent, there are two things. One, NEMA came out to give guidelines on what is going to happen, especially to the law breakers who have been littering all over. You find somebody chewing it, having a chewing gum, then you will litter it anywhere. You get a bottle of water, then you throw. Somebody is eating some snack, after that he throws the kavera anywhere around. When there are even litter bins, when someone is moving, you find that there is, and all this rubbish end up clogging into our water channels. And when they go into the channel, then in future they will cause flooding. In the near future, these caveras and bottles and plastics, they go and collect somewhere and they spoil our environment, because these are non-biodegradable products and they cannot decompose, and at the end of the day they will affect the soil texture. And once the soil texture is affected, that's why you are seeing now, you hear global warming. You can imagine in the last 2 days there has been a lot of temperature in the city and all over the whole country. And these are the effects of some of these things. So, and people think it's a joke, but this is not a joking subject. And the guidelines have been issued and the penalties have been issued. If you can't meet the penalty, then you go to jail. On communication, it looks to be a bit weird and a bit challenging, but it's going to be affected. And once you are caught into it and you have been arrested or you have been detained or you have been asked to pay the 6 millions or the 10 millions and above, then that's when someone will realize that this is. So, fellow Ugandans, whether you are living in the city or outside the city, because this law is a national law, it is going to get hold of you. So, and let's also be responsible and work together to ensure that this law does not get hold of you, but we work on our environment. Because now when you see this city, if imagine a city without kavera, without litter, without this, it will be okay. And these are certain things we have to get used to. The owners of the vehicles, you have been informed that you need to get a dustbin within your car, whether it's a private car or public transport. Because even in private car, someone will get a bottle of water, you will get a cake, you get, so that rubbish, put it in that dustbin. And this helps. Now, when you have a dustbin, it is helping you and your kids and any other person to know that in a car there is a dustbin. When you are moving in a public transport or in a bus, you will even ask, what is our dustbin here? Such that you don't litter. And you find somebody is driving, even these my cars and what, he opens the window, screens down, you throw. This is really bad. So if the law gets you, then you'll be on the wrong side of the law. That is item number 1. Then the other issue is about noise pollution.
Before we get to that, one of the quarrels, if I may use that word, that some people have as far as these guidelines and these laws are concerned is the feasibility. For instance, when you talk about garbage disposal, now I am a person who really, like you, dislikes what I see in the city where people just throw rubbish anywhere. But isn't that also a problem of lack of adequate garbage disposal bins in the city? And I know this, for instance, because I know that sometimes I'm moving around and I'm looking for a dustbin and I can't find one, not just in buildings but in on the street in the city as well. So isn't that also an issue that from KCCA's point of view there needs to be something in terms of ensuring there are enough garbage disposal bins, for instance, so that someone who has a trash is not tempted to throw it on the ground or litter it?
Thank you very much. Yes, that is very important and pertinent. But when you move around Kampala Road on different streets, you see there are garbage skips, garbage bins. These small bins which are there, they have been provided either by KCCA or by private property, private proprietors who are advertising through KCCA. And now that our outdoor advertisement is functioning very well, I think we are going to engage some other private players to ensure that we increase on the garbage bins. And you see, if someone has a mindset that I'm supposed to look for a garbage bin, he will look for it. And even if we have few, then someone will find where the few are and dispose there. Even if it's full, at least we put near the garbage bin. But people do not do that. They just litter, because that is the mindset. If we have these bins in our homes, we have them in our cars, and we have them at workplaces, because I would expect here there's a garbage bin here. This building should have different shops or different offices should have their bins, such that in the evening these collectors they come and collect them. But even if I'm walking along the street and I have nowhere to dispose, maybe I should move by a shop and find a bin there and dispose. But they are not existent, and the fact that they are not there, then, and the law is very clear, people are waiting for us to force them. But it's not our wish, but we have an option, because now we must implement this and we shall force them.
But also on that very same issue, something that I've seen, and I'm not alone in this, is the people who are responsible for sweeping the streets. I've seen on many instances, and it's something that we keep discussing about, is when people are sweeping, this person sweeping who are under KCCA sweep, for example, some of the rubbish into drainage channels, and then you'll find it's those same drainage channels that are clogged and that cause flooding when the rains are heavy. Isn't that also on the side of KCCA to ensure that, yes, as people are sweeping, that they collect that rubbish, especially the one that is not biodegradable, so that they do not clog up the drainage channels?
Thank you very much. Yeah, this matter has been reported, and I think we communicated to our team, especially those who have been doing the device, and we shall continue sensitizing. That's why I told you that the mindset of our people need to be changed, because the same people we have, that the same people who come from the same community. So if everyone can be on the same page, then we shall move better. We are going to keep on encouraging our people who are sweeping to ensure that this dust is collected and this rubbish is collected, because it is supposed to be collected, then our trucks come and pick and go. So the drivers who have been delaying, maybe we need now to push them up to ensure that they pick and take this rubbish to avoid clogging our drainage.
And you said the law is going to catch up with people who don't follow the law in terms of things like garbage disposal and having a dustbin in your car. Now, that brings me to the conversation of some of the sanctions. Now, I know for a fact that there are many Ugandans out there who, just like KCCA and other authorities like NEMA, are willing and able to do as much as they can to protect the environment. However, there's been a question on the fairness of these sanctions. For instance, when it comes to the fine as coming from being found driving without a dustbin in your car, it is a larger fine than, for instance, someone who was found building on a wetland. Is that fair, really? That's why some people are calling this a joke, because how is it more criminal to not have a dustbin in your car, and then the wetlands which are crucial to our environment, and someone is building there gets a lesser fine?
Thank you very much. Now, you see, when something you put a lesser fine, it is easy to put a lesser fine. But when you put a fine that is a bit minimal, it encourages someone to commit an offense. Because it's, after all, I can go over it. You see, when there was a lot of defilement in the previous times, but when the fine was put at a higher, and you find somebody's child, you have to be arrested or taken to prison for a long period of time, and even murder and what. So people realized that this is, so you find people started trying to be a bit scared, and so the purpose of putting this fine is to ensure you don't do this crime. You don't commit this crime.
Yes, it's a deterrent, but
it's a deterrent to ensure that if you do it, then you know that, because really, a dustbin, which is more reasonable, can go for around 50 or 40 or 30. Even there are dustbins of 20 or 10. Why should you fail to have it in your car at that cost?
Well, that is true, and that is well, but the issue
coming
is,
to your comparison. Now, those people who are erecting structures in the wetlands or in, first of all, in most cases, you find those who erect there, they have two categories. There are those well-to-do people who will come, backfill, blah, blah, and follow and get there. Then there are those who are low-income earners, they have nowhere to go, they come. But now the instrument was passed and these structures are supposed to be demolished. Now you have put there a lot of money and we come and the instrument is you clear these structures down. How much money are you losing? It's a lot. These titles, we are waiting for the Ministry of Land to cancel out the titles because the communication was given to them that all these titles should be cancelled, and once they are cancelled, then the structures will go down. So that is even much bigger than even the 6 millions, because there is no structure that can go up at a cost of 6 millions or 12 millions.
Well, that's well and good, although some may say, why are you favoring them so much? Because prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
We are looking at demolishing the structure, but the idea, like you said, is to put a heavy fine so that there is deterrence.
But
so that those who are planning,
for example,
those who are planning to put up the structures will say, this fine is a lot, plus I'll be mandated to bring down my building. So it's better for me not to erect a structure in the wetland.
Now, what is the fine for someone who erecting a structure in a wetland?
I believe it's 6 million. And then it's 3 million. Between 6 million.
Of course, that is a fine. But if it's a fine, does the fine say that now that you have paid the fine that the structure should go on? It has to go down. You pay the money and the structure goes down.
Yes, but that is, there's no problem with that. But the problem is the fact that we have to be heavy on the fine and increase the fine so that there is deterrence. Because someone might say, well, 6 million doesn't mean much to me, I can lose it, and find a way of dodging the factor of bringing down the structure.
You can't fail. You can't get the way out on how the structure will not come down, because you cannot have an approval of the structure which is in a wetland. And secondly, by getting a fine, that's one confirmation that you're a criminal. You are doing something that is prohibited. And Once you're a criminal, then you are implicated, both you're a criminal and your structure will go down. So those are two aspects.
But you say this, and yet we have seen cases of people who are built on wetlands and have actually said they have received permits from NEMA and other authorities to build on those wetlands, which is why a lot of Ugandans are raising their voices on this
Well,
issue.
if they have gotten permits from NEMA, NEMA gives permits for anybody to construct in a wetland, then you can also get a permit from NEMA not to have a dustbin in your car, if your authority is there. But it is not there. And of course, NEMA giving you clearance. They guide you that this is an environmentally sensitive area. You will construct here like this, or you will not construct. If you have like 10 acres, you are going to construct only on 2 acres, and this is the way how you are going to do it. If you don't follow that, then you can't have the structure there. But I think on the issue of fines, when those people of NEMA come here, they will have to elaborate more. And I think this is a gray area where we need to share with them about the fine being less on this and higher on this end. But all the same, they are all criminals.
Indeed. Now, another thing that has raised the hairs from when it comes to Ugandans is the issue of noise pollution. Take us through what noise pollution is and why it's important that KCCA and NEMA fight this issue, especially here in the city.
Now, noise pollution is or refers, for example, annoyance. To annoy someone getting annoyed with noise. And getting annoyed means a feeling of displeasure evoked by noise. You are annoyed by noise. Or any feeling of resentment, discomfort, irritation occurring when noise intrudes into another person's thoughts or mood, or interferes with any activity being done by the affected person. That is noise. If we are here and discussing this matter, and someone is seated in this room and is irritated by our noise, we are discomforting him or giving him, or you are at your home, someone is passing by, and this noise puts you off on what you are supposed to be doing. That is noise. We have found it difficult and challenging where in this city people are inconveniencing others because of noise. Yes, this is noise you are doing, you are committing, or you are emitting noise. It's your business. But your business should not inconvenience my business. I have a different business, you have a different business. I'm concentrating, I'm reading a story about maybe something important. Now your noise is giving me discomfort not to read my story. I am sleeping, your noise is failing me to sleep. Or I'm resting, your noise is failing me to rest. That is annoying my thoughts. So that's what we call noise. We have found it challenging in this city that people are emitting too much noise into the city. And people are having restless moments, they can't sleep, they can't do other activities because of noise. When you pass on Kampala Road or Benichwanuka Street, you are passing by, you are discussing with someone, or you are in the next shop, someone, because he's selling phones, he has a shop for phones, he wants everyone to know he's making noise. If you want to make everyone know, there are procedures how you advertise for your business. This is a TV station. You bring your adverts on this TV. people will watch at home and know that there's a shop on Ben Kiwanuka Street, there's a shop on William Street, the shop number this on this building, they sell this. But for you, you are having a shop here for phones. Me, I'm having a shop here, is a pharmacy. The another shop here is selling clothes. The other shop there is selling other items. Now, you who is selling phones or who is selling clothes, you have inconvenienced all other shops. This is not acceptable. And we have an outdoor advertisement unit. If you want to advertise, you go, they will give you a permit for you to advertise for a specified period of time. If you can't all the time or come to radio or TV, there are also measures where you advertise, but it is really controlled and we give you limits under which you are supposed to operate. We have billboards, there are a lot of different means of advertisement. So this noise has become a problem. And now people are still in a denial mood. They think they are being witch-hunted, because now when you go to places like entertainment places of entertainment, they are supposed to entertain others. You give them so that they can enjoy. But if I've come for entertainment, but there are other neighbors who have not come for this entertainment, let's not give them discomfort. If you want to have a music blast in that entertainment area, one, it should be regulated. Like if there is a function at Serena or Sheraton or Africana or any hotel around town, we give them a permit that you operate. You are supposed to have a show at Lugogo or this place, and this show must stop at midnight. And you have that permit. Once it gets to midnight, you switch off and close. If you have a disco hall or a club like Ambience, like a Governor, like those discotheques, there you do soundproofing, and when you do soundproofing, you go and blast your music there. Those who are inside, they will feel it. Those outside, they will not even know what is happening. Now we have people who have decided to get disco halls or clubs, and they have put them in residential areas. When you go to Kabalagala, you go to Bugolobi, you go to Ntinda, Chisasi, Chanja, Komamboga, Munyonyo, Bunga, Kabusu, all over the city. Find clubs, bars, this, and all these are making a lot of noise. They want to work to make noise from morning, then in the evening, and throughout the night, from Monday to Monday. These are residential areas. Noise. Now, when you make this noise, the law requires that if you are going to make noise, you are supposed to have approvals. And the approval you get, you have to go to NEMA and you're allowed to emit noise. Or if you get an outdoor advertisement, but even that license they give you, they cannot tell you that you go and emit noise from Monday to Monday. You have to say that for us, we have a club here. We are supposed to have of a live band, and this live band, in a year, we can have like 4 or 5 or 10 shows. This date, and this date. Then the authority will say, oh, you have 10 shows. Okay. Based on other applicants, we are giving you 5 shows. And the first show will be in January of this date. The second show will be in February, the other one will be in March, up to the end. And you get the permits. And then the authority will communicate to the residents that we have permitted so and so, through the chairman LC1, that this club called the Monte, or this club called this Volt, or Auto Spa, or whatever, will have a live show on this date. And they will have 5 shows, and that's it. And these shows must run from evening up to midnight, and that is the end. Now, those people who operate in the residential areas, they have a limit. For example, the maximum noise level, here we are concentrating so much permissible noise to the environment. Now, if you are making noise to the community, or maximum noise levels, residential buildings, even at your home, you as Agaba, Raymond, Albert, Sejengo, Anise Makula, anybody at your own home, you are supposed not to go beyond 50 decibels of the noise you emit within your building during the daytime. And at night, it should not go beyond 35. If you have a TV in your home, you don't make the TV make a lot of noise. It's not if you have a music system or whatever activity you're doing, they should not go beyond 50 decibels during the daytime and 35 at night. Then mixed residential areas, where you have a residential area, it has commercial and entertainment area. During the daytime, it should not go beyond 55 decibels. And at night, 45. These are mixed residential areas, like in Ankara, you will see like Wandagea. Those should not go beyond 45 in the night. And 45, like now as we are talking, if I can put on my machine here, you will realize that the noise levels you emit during daytime, if someone outside there is hearing what we are talking here, that means the noise level has gone beyond 40 decibels. And if somebody in the other next following room is hearing what is happening here, then it has gone beyond 50. So the noise levels should be limited. Now, for example, as we are talking now here, this noise we are talking, this discussion, you, me, and whoever is listening here, I can see it at 50 decibels.
It's that high.
That should be the ideal situation. Why should you go beyond? So during the daytime, because they are saying we should be at 55 during the daytime, or 50. So if we are talking, we should talk as human beings, not talking when we are quarreling, we are fighting. What? You talk at your level. So if you are having a place of entertainment and you feel this noise is going beyond, then you have already gone outside the law.
But how about those places of worship, for instance, churches as well, and then mosques as well, where people are called to worship? If this is just 50 decibels, so will they be able to call people to worship with that higher standard of sound level?
You know, sound also goes higher as people are quiet. Now, during the daytime, you will not hear people making noise, because most people, here we are talking, the others are talking, the others are talking, so you will not feel it. But when at night everyone is quiet, even when you make the lowest noise, everyone will hear you, because every activity is down. So the most affected places, the most important aspect is people making noise in the night. KCCA has a lot of pressing issues and we are working on them. And the good thing, we have different departments that work on different activities. Like me, I'm in charge of physical planning. I'm also head of decongestion in the city. I'm also head of smart city campaign. And I'm a member of outdoor advertisement committee. So, being in charge of this part of outdoor, then I know the people we have permitted to have live bands or live entertainment or advertisement, or those who are advertising. And big head of decongestion, we cannot have a city which is so much congested. Not congested for any reason, but congested with, you remember the time when we had kiosks everywhere, littering, vendors, all this. So we had to clear that, and we continue clearing the city. That is part of the congestion. You find now you go to a place like Fairway Roundabout. You see, this is a signboard, this is a signboard, this is a signboard, this is a signboard. Now, if you are coming to Uganda for your first time, which one should you look at and which one should you not look at? So there's a lot of declutter, and this is what we call decongestion. We want to decongest some of those billboards. We cut them off and remove, and we know now this street is having billboards for maybe Stanbic Bank. This one is advertising for Equity Bank. This one is advertising for Centenary Bank. And we know all those streets. Then if you have another advertiser, maybe MTN is advertising on this street, or Airtel is advertising on this street. So such kind of arrangement, it looks organized and so smart. But when you come, you reach on a junction, you don't understand what is here and what is not there. So that's what we call decongestion. Now, going back to your question. Yes, we have other activities and we are working on them. And surely we are doing a great work. Because if KCCA stopped working for 2 days only, you don't see a lot of confusion here. In Kasasiro, in what. But that's why we keep working. And we don't want one problem to keep germinating, it will become a problem beyond, it will become cancer. So the issue of noise, we need to have it sorted and it is cleared. The issue of littering has to be sorted, and we know that Kampala is a place where you don't go and litter. Kampala is a place where there is no noise for other people who are not part of that noise. So as you are asking, church, places of worship, time and again, I think people have always misquoted authorities or what. Sometimes when the issues of noise they come, they want to say, some people, especially those who make a lot of noise, they hide behind the churches, as if churches make noise or places of worship are meant to make noise. Because if a church, like any other church or the mosque, They will start praying, and the mosque will take like a maximum of around 15 minutes. They will be done. And they have specified times when they are calling people for prayers and when they are praying. Churches, they have specified period of time that church so and so will have mass or service at this time and it will end at this time. And you are asking how many decibels are allowed for church. In a residential area, during daytime, a church can emit 60 decibels in a residential area. In a commercial area, 75 decibels. An industrial area, 85. All we need is for a church or any other to buy a machine which is durable and which is standard. For example, like this machine of mine, which we have. This machine, you have to ensure it is well calibrated with NEMA. You take it to NEMA, they certify that this one is okay. You know there are also fake machines on the market. Some people, they can also use the app. You just go to Play Google stores and you buy an app and fix it there. But you have also to know the app you buy, because some apps will give you wrong information. For example, we have like some either they did it intentional or there's one of the bars around Kololo there. They have a machine, so they take their measures, but you will find their machine is telling them you are at 20 when they're actually in the 90s. So these machines have to be taken to NEMA or UNBS for calibration, so that we know that this is working or not. Then in the night, the biggest problem, by the way, we have in this city, we do not have a big problem of noise during daytime.
Well, someone may say apart from traffic jam and then something else that which comes with road transport noise is the issue of sirens. And we've seen both ambulances and even police and even people who with special convoys use their sirens at maximum. Are they also going to fall under the purview of this law?
This law gives it is very open, and it has clearly indicated which person emits which noise and where. Those sirens, the vehicles for the Prime Minister, President, ambulances, Speaker, Parliament, whatever, they are well stipulated in the law. So, and in any case, this vehicle will pass here like 2 minutes and go away, and you not hear it again. But there is this constant noise from morning to morning, from evening to morning, from that noise has to be. Of course, we shall start with the bigger noise emitters, then we go on until we have all the noise levels controlled.
Now, when it comes to, and very quickly, because unfortunately we've run out of time, when it comes to tackling this issue of noise pollution and people littering the environment, does both KCCA and NEMA, especially KCCA, since you're from KCCA, have the capacity, both financially and in terms of human resource, to carry out, to follow up with whether people in the city are following these guidelines, following this law, and whether those have capacity with those who have broken up, who have contravened sections of this law, and therefore carry out the sanctions as well?
Yes, KCCA, we have the capacity. And our capacity will contain
this. The reason I'm asking that is, for example, the cars. The cars are so many in Kampala. You're going to follow every car and find out whether how we issues that KCCA has to tackle?
Yeah, it's a big task, but of course, like most law offenders or law breakers, once they realize that things are tough and are real, then they will follow suit. You will only arrest a few, and others will just buy these items and put them there. You will close some few bars and maybe demolish some few, and you will see others also starting to comply, because now they think it's a joking subject. But when it bites, the unfortunate part, you don't know where it will start biting from. When it bites your neighbor, then you will get to know that now it is biting.
Indeed. So what's your final word on these issues of environmental protection and fighting this big issue of noise pollution in Kampala City?
My final take is, one, we are all Ugandans, and we are entitled to live in this city or live in every part of the country without any inconvenience from any person. The environment we are spoiling now will affect our future generation. If we do not come out boldly to tackle the environmental concerns, our children, our grandchildren, and our grand will pay heavily. So if we are not really very selfish, we should work towards appreciating what our grandfathers did to conserve the environment for us to live in it, because if they had not conserved it, we would not be here. Now, if we want our grandchildren to enjoy this kind of life we are going through, then we had better conserve the environment. And secondly, I want to appeal to all peace-loving Ugandans and all Ugandans that these laws, as KCCA, we are going to implement them, especially noise and this littering of garbage everywhere. And those who think we are not going to implement, you can continue thinking, but just watch the space. The earlier you do it, the better, because if you think you should operate bar or operate a club in a residential area for you to get money and inconvenience others not to sleep, because for you want to make money, then you had better thought twice. Yeah, that's all I can say. Maybe to send my regards to all people who have been watching us and listening to us. And since this is a family TV, it's important to say hi to my sweet darling, fortunate to sing attain, and my kids, because they are part of my family, and I'm happy to be here as part of this family.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Agaba Amooti, for tackling those key issues and reminding us about how important the environment is, and for telling us that when it comes to the environment, the key responsibility is on us, and if we do not pay attention to following these rules to help us protect our environment, then we'll be on the wrong side of the law. But as a family, like he has just said, we wouldn't want any of us to pay these fines or to go to jail or to face these sanctions. So it's easier to instead protect our environment against environmental pollution and against things like noise pollution. Thank you so much, our viewers and our family members, for tuning in to Issues at Hand this Tuesday morning. We shall be back tomorrow. For now, have a blessed day and God richly bless you.